Hello everyone. I had a few people in the comments asking me how I sync my looper with the drums in my DAW, and I tried to explain it in the comments, and I thought that could be an opportunity just to make a quick video about it and show you all how I did it. I used the 22500 looper by Electric Harmonix, and that one doesn't have MIDI, which is sad. If they will put out a successor with MIDI and a display with far more information to read, I will be immediately sold and get one as quick as possible, because I tried some loopers in the past and that one was just the best one for my workflow. Okay, how am I able to manage to run my looper beneath the drums in my DAW? That looper in particular has a built-in drum computer, which allows you to set the internal tempo of the looper. And in order to do that, you have to at first you have to go into loop, and that's where you put all of your parameters for how the loop station will behave. The L stands for loop lock mode, which means that loop 1 and 2 are locked to another. The second digit here is the 2, which means that the second loop contains 2 times the length of the first one. 4 means that the loops are going to be synchronized to 4 bars of the internal drum looper, and P means that both of the tracks are running in parallel. So that's the first thing I set up when I will start a loop. Go to tempo. As you can see, the tempo is set to 120 BPM. So your DAW has to be set to 120 BPM too, in order to run perfectly together. The next thing to do is record type, rhythm type. It's not record type, it's rhythm type. And you have to choose a rhythm, but it's just in order to record a blank loop which will run in sync. So it really doesn't matter. You can choose this one. But for the most part, I just take rhythm 1, and that's just the metronome. Yeah, we all know how a metronome sounds like. Next thing to do is we have to record a completely blank loop, and you have to decide how long your loop will be in the beginning. For me, the loop is mostly, it's 4 bars or 8 bars, and loop B will always be the immutable of that. In my case, it's almost all the time double the length. You just hit play, and when you hit record between the bars, it will always start recording at the end of the 4th bar. So press record, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it will play automatically. So that's where you can stop the rhythm, put it off. Since most of the time when I record I use both tracks, I have to set up the second track too. So I press play, and then I just hit record here and just wait. So it automatically starts recording, and now I can just wait, and it will record till it has done 2 times of the first track, and then it will go immediately to play. So stop. That's the first thing you have to do. So you have two loops, both are empty and both are synchronized to 120 BPM. Regardless if I have the internal drum machine running or not, it will just be locked to 120 BPM. Let's switch over to the computer. As you can see, my tempo is at 120 BPM, same like I did on the looper. And for my drums in this case, I just use a kit that I made in Modern Massive. Got some drum loop from the Groove Player, and it goes like this. Which is a fairly simple drum loop. It's just to have something going that matches the vibe that you want to play. You can always change it afterwards, but for me it's important to be in the vibe that I try to come up with as close as possible when I start, even when it's just an improvised song. Now we can try to record a simple loop and just see how everything behaves. I will hit record, so the internal drums are playing. So now the drums are playing and I just have to hit play. So the loop is just starting going. And I can press record at any point because the entrance point for my loops will be dictated by the DAW. So in here it will be out of sync when I completely stop the looper and start, because the point where I start recording is not going to be the one on here. I hope that doesn't sound too complicated. Yeah, that's a fairly simple one. I can set my delay to 120 BPM too. And now I can just hit record. It will record the old time and I just start. And I can overdub on the first layer. Let's have some wet reverb going. The bass on the second track. Have it on play, record, and try to remember what I played. That was wrong, there was an octaver and was locked up. Bass. Give it to you. sounds horrible because I forgot to pull off the wet wrap. At least I can say it's something interesting sounding. And if you like, you can pause one of the tracks. As long as one of the tracks is running, they won't be drifting away from the drums that are running in the DAW right now. And I hope, as you can see, I'm recording right now. So I can start this one again. Start the second track. Or erase it and undo it. And that's it. But now, since I put both on stop, when I hit play, I don't know where the one was, but for the things that I do, that really doesn't matter that much. I thought about getting myself the Aeros Loop Studio, which is fairly expensive to be honest, but it seems to have some quirks that are still not repaired by firmware updates, but I think they will do it in the future. It looks like they are pretty good in delivering firmware updates. But as long as nothing else crosses my road, I will stick with this one because it's the one that I use for years now and I managed to work with that thing. And there are funny things like having a reverse or an octave down or octave up, which is pretty good when you just want to record drony stuff in the background, which is just wobbling around, and you can improve over that stuff with the guitar. That's it for now. I hope it wasn't that boring, and I'm sure it was far more complicated than it has to be. Thanks for watching.